Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to show you how to use the Hasselblad 500 CM. The Hasselblad is a medium format camera, SLR, and it's completely modular. So you're going to see how I strip it down, strip it back together, and how to operate it if you just got one. So first thing is first, we have the lens, body, and back. So this is the lens, which in this case is a 150. To take it off, you have a button on the bottom. This is the shutter release, so this is the button. Once we press the button in, we rotate it and we take it out. You can see there's the arrow to mount it back on. Then the film back, which is here, we have to slide it that way. There's no arrow, and then it can come off like that. And you want to slide it and then lift it because it hooks on the bottom. So we put that on the side. Then we have the body itself. As you can see, it's a cube, almost looks like one of those film cameras that nowadays looks like a, little brain, but this still has more parts to it. First thing is the viewfinder. Viewfinder can slide off, so it slides off like you can see there. So we can pull it off and this comes off. This is a waist level finder. We have the focusing screen, which we can push these little two metal parts into that body and then it will come off, and these are interchangeable. And then we also have one last part, which is the advance knob, which is also interchangeable. In this case, we press it, we turn it to this second arrow, and then we can turn it off, take it off. That is the whole breaking down the camera. As you can see now, we just have the tripod on the bottom and the rest. So let's put it all back together. One thing to note with the Hasselblad is it likes everything to speak the same language. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if the lens is not triggered, the body has to be not triggered. So if the lens has been shot, because it has a little pin here, that if I actually press it inwards, and I'll show you for the demonstration, if I press this little pin inwards, it's released the shutter, and now we can't see anything through it. As you can see, it's dark. We need to cock it with a coin. In this case, I'm using a 100 yen coin, but a small coin will do, and turn it to the orange direction to reopen the lens and have it ready to be put on the body. So there, wait a little bit more. It does like 2 turns. Now you can see that we can see through the lens. Same with the body. If we attach the advance wheel, let me put the coin here on the side. If we advance the wheel, and I'll do this so we can advance to the next frame. Sorry if I'm not getting it right. There we go. Now this is locked. So now if I take a shot, the camera is not ready. As you can see, the red little dot and the line of metal is not aligned. We have to advance it and have it ready. Now we can mount the lens. This is only for the lens, but just in case you need to know. So focusing screen, you see that has some sharp edges on the bottom and on the top not. The top is flat, so we put it in there. And we don't have to pull these 2 little metal parts. We just have to grab the focusing screen and put it in. So we slide it from the beginning, and you'll see how they pop out on their own. You see, they popped out, slide all the way in. Now it's in there, it won't fall at all. So let's go with the lens. The lens, as you can see, has a red dot on the top here, just under Hasselblad. We grab the lens, and or the body, sorry, we grab the lens, we have the arrow, and we align those. So the arrow is also red here, it has to be on the top. So we put it and we turn it clockwise till we hear a click. The lens shouldn't be able to move, only focusing. And then the film back, what I do is, as I told you, has the bottom, has these little hooks on the bottom. So I basically put them there and I pivot, and then you don't want to slam it closed. You want to give it a little bit of a, like the unlocking, push, and that's it. Now it's all put together and ready to be used. So let's start with the using. How to load the backs, I made a video, but it uses 120 film, not 120 millimeter. That would be something like this, which is not the film it uses. It uses 120 film, black and white, color negative, whatever you want. So basically the back, we can remove it. And to load it, basically on the side here, let me put the body to the side. You would see here, we open it, and here we have the empty spool, which we always have to have, and where the roll goes. In this case, we would remove the spool, put it on the other side, lock it, then put the roll, advance to the little arrow, and in the back, we have to lift it so it goes under here with the backing paper, and you want to see the black part of the backing paper when it gets to the arrow, which you advance with this little lever, you can put it back in. But I'm not going to load it. I'm leaving you the link on the top and the bottom. This is the dark slide. Okay, so this is to expose film. Obviously, if there's film in there, please don't take out the dark slide. It shouldn't let you take out the dark slide if there's film in there, but just be careful. And then we go and put it back on the body. So to use it, we basically lift this, see through the ground, through the viewfinder, waist level finder, and we can focus moving the lens one way or another. There's a TV in front of me, so I can see what I'm doing, but this is a 150 lens, so you won't see anything. But if I focus to the light, you would see that on the light. It's hard to show on the video, but there's light here. So you would focus through there, take out your dark slide, and then choose the aperture and the shutter speed, and I'll explain more of that, and then you would shoot. And when you shoot, one thing this camera does, and it's also important when you're mounting them, you see how there's two little windows here, one on the back and one on the body? When I shoot, it turns red. So that means that this is shot and needs to be advanced and cocked. So let's go to the lens and go one by one, slowly but surely showing you how to work it out. One thing I haven't mentioned is the strap on this body. Hasselblad straps are special. They use these special lugs that I have somewhere here. Oh, here. That are, you know, specific to the Hasselblad. There's a few brands that make them. OP, I think OP straps or OP something is really nice one. This one's the original leather and long, but that's fairly easy to put. So we'll go with the lens first. Focusing, as you saw, it's turning the lens, and there's etchings or markings, paints on meters and feet. Meters in white and feet in orange. Then we have our depth of field scale, which basically means that depending on what f-stop we are on, it will have more depth of field or less. So that's like our chart. So let's see here, let's say we're f16 and we're focused something like there. Let's go to f22 for the simpleness, because there's no etchings for f16. f22 means that from 2 meters to 2.5 meters, everything is focused. So if you're shooting at f22, this is how you can do it, a hyperfocal. It is a 150, so it's not too wide. If we had it to f32, it could be, you could focus at something like 5 meters to infinity, everything would be focused. Those are the etchings on here. This middle bar, big white one, is the indicator of what aperture. As you saw, I basically have to turn this to get, so F4 between, it has half click, so F4 to half click to 5.6, 5.6, half click to 8, 8, half click to 11, so on, so on. So that's the aperture of the lens. And then the shutter speed is on the front ring. As you can see here, 500th is the max shutter speed, and you can go all the way down to bulb, which is the B. The F is for the cameras that have the focal plane shutter. So this, you put it to F, and then the body does the apertures, but this is not the case in this body. Then we have, you'll see here the 2, 3, 4, 5. What are those values? Those are EV values, okay? So if you're shooting and using a light meter in EV values, basically you would have to match. So it does 19. So let's say EV value of 14. That will be a combination, and EV combination is a combination of like the F32 1/15th, but it also is 5.6 500th. If we want to move them together, because they're not really coupled, we have this button that we can press, and you see now it all moves together. If I depress it, it only does the aperture. So that is for the EV values. Doesn't do anything to the body or the lens, just an indicator. Then we have our PC sync on the side. This is the depth of field preview, which is extremely confusing for a lot of people, because they sometimes go ahead and they press it, and I'm gonna push it, and you basically should see F32. Okay, it was doing it, I just couldn't see it. So here is the depth of field preview. So basically, if you have your depth of field cocked like I have now, like engaged, it will be closed, like you can see. And if I open it, it will open at the stops. And when it makes it all the way to F4, you can keep on closing and opening. And sometimes you're shooting and you're like, why is my screen so dark? It's because this needs to be disengaged. To disengage it, you just press it, push up, and it's now gonna be free. As you can see, you're shooting all the time with a wide open. So that's how you do the depth of field. PC sync, and that's all you have. Then the front has bayonet style focusing. So filters. So this is a Bay 60. There's Bay 50 and Bay 60. This is 60. The older lenses use Bay 50. Some other special lenses you might use a different bayonet mount. You can see here this, it says 60. It's not screw, it's bayonet. So that's for the lens. Then on the body, like I said, for focusing, we have the waist level finder. You can use a prism. To lift the loop, we can slide sideways. And there we got the little magnifying. To put it down, we just put it down. As you can see, it basically is like that. I'm just trying to not make it slam, but that's how you do it. And if you want to close it, obviously put it down, push this inwards, and let it go down. On the side, it has a little special accessory, like a dovetail, which can do infinity, bubble, and so on. The bottom, we have the tripod screw, but also we have, this is a dovetail for Hasselblad's proprietary quick release plates. This is the shutter button, and this has a few things. It has the T, which won't let you shoot, which is like a lock, but it also works in the sense that when you, oh, sorry, let me take off the back and see how it works. So the T, so this now lets you shoot. On T, it lets you shoot, but it locks, okay? It's not that it doesn't let you shoot, sorry. It locks it, so when we put it back there, the mirror goes up again. Let me show you on the back. We press, and you see, now it doesn't come back up. When I move it, it does it. And if it's on O, and I shoot, it just comes back and closes the secondary shutter, which is these shutters should be always as you see them now. If not, there's some issue. And also, the body won't shoot with a dark side in, so your dark side has to come out. Here on the dark side, on the film back, there's a little red and white indicator, or silver. Now it's empty, so it's showing red. If there was a whole roll, it would be all silver. And as you're shooting the roll, you should see it coming back from more red and less silver. But also, you have a frame counter here on the side, which we're not seeing because of the film not being loaded. This also, to advance, you use this when you finish the roll. So once you finish the roll, you have to advance this. As you see now, it thinks I put film, so it shows number 1. And if I take the dark side out, it will shoot and show red, red. So both have to be red, red, or white, white. And now when we advance, we go to frame 2. So basically that's how we use the back. 3 and so on. We can even go through the whole thing so you see it. But if we get to 12, then we have to advance with the wheel. We basically have to shoot 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember 6x6, you get 12 pictures on an A12. You can use A16, get 16. This is the last shot. So now it won't let me shoot anymore because we ran out of film. This is where you would advance and take out the roll. Remember to do that at the very end. And the dark side, as like I said, it doesn't shoot if it has it inside. Then there's one more thing I haven't mentioned, and it's the mirror lockup, which is here. So let's say we're about to shoot, and I'll take the back off, and we're composing, and you know we don't want any vibrations, and we have mirror lockup, which will only push the mirror up, and you see the lens is actually closed, so there's no light coming through. And now we were going to take a picture, we would press the button, and it would take a picture. And that's it. Let's do it with 1 second so you guys can see it better. So we do mirror lockup. So it locks the mirror up, opens the secondary shutter, but the lens is closed. And now 1 second, and then we can advance. So that's the mirror lockup here. And you can't disengage it. If you do by accident trigger it, maybe you can take out the film back and do the whole thing so it lets you shoot without screwing that one frame just in case. So that's the mirror lockup action. And there's not much else to the camera, honestly. It's super fun to use. They're easy to use most times. They were professional tools, so make sure that you have it serviced and you don't do any silly business with it. It's extremely nice. There's no ISO indicator. You have a film reminder in some of the film backs. And yeah, you can shoot 6x6, 6.45. You can shoot even 35mm with some special backs and so on. But yeah, Hasselblad 500 CM. It's a very special camera. It was my first professional film camera I ever owned. Love it dearly, but yeah, make sure that they're serviced. They have sometimes some flaws, and if it gets cocked or like jammed, take it to a specialist. Don't try to finesse your way in. So yeah, I hope this helped you use this Hasselblad. It's intended for people that have never used one or have some doubts about what they're doing with it. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.